What's up, everybody? Today's video is going to be talking about the differences between cordless and corded drills. I'm just going to be talking about hammer drills and drills or drill drivers, although we will talk about impact drivers for a minute. I have made a Patreon account or a page or whatever you call it. Please go check it out. I've put the link in the description. So first we'll talk about impact drivers for a minute. Cordless impact drivers, I've never used a corded impact. I don't even know if they're that common anymore. In fact, I know they aren't common anymore. Although I know Makita makes a corded impact still. But even like in the olden days when these were your impact drivers, I don't think there was any reason to buy a corded impact unless you're using it all day long, doing decking or something. So I just have cordless impacts. Although I am almost considering getting the Makita corded impact driver. So when it comes to drills, obviously these two tools, the corded and the cordless, are different because cordless have a whole bunch of gearing in here. They also have the clutch, whereas a corded just has a single reduction gear up front here. Also, the handle is at the back in the corded. Now, corded, you can get 2-speed corded drills, although they aren't like this. 2-speed corded drills are generally a lot bigger than these guys, and they have a knob here or down here that you can turn to go between 1 and 2 speeds. I am considering getting one of those because I think it would be very handy to have a corded that has the 2 speeds in it. When it comes to these two tools, there aren't really any corded versions like this, although Makita seems to have made a corded version of their subcompact drill. And when it comes to these guys, there isn't really a cordless version like this without the clutch, although Fine and Metabo seem to make cordless versions like this, although because of the way the speeds are set up on them, and also the chucks they have, I think they're mainly aimed for metal workers. Here in this country, VSR drills, variable speed reversible drills, like this that don't have a hammer feature in them, are pretty rare. I don't even know if you can get them. Hammer drills like this aren't too rare, although a lot of them don't seem to have a metal chuck anymore. They have a plastic chuck, sort of like this chuck. You can still get the 2-speed. When it comes to professional grade, the 2 speeds are a lot more common than the single-speed hammer drills. A lot of the single-speed hammer drills in this country are the cheaper ones like Black & Decker's and the no-name brands and stuff. Although you can find Makitas and stuff, but they seem to have plastic chucks. And actually, I don't even know if you can really find drills anywhere that have the good old chuck key chuck. So when you're looking at buying a corded or a cordless drill, if you are a homeowner and you're only planning to use the drill maybe once or twice a year to drill a few holes for hanging a picture, a cord is going to be a lot better choice than the cordless, because cordless, well, first of all, you have the battery, so that if you leave your drill sitting for a long time, the cheaper batteries could very well drain, and then you come back and there's no juice in the battery. Or you'll be using it and the drill will run out of batteries right almost before you're finished hanging your picture or whatever, whereas a corded drill will happily sit in your closet forever, really, and when you want to use it, you just plug it in and away you go. You don't have to worry about batteries. Plus also, a corded drill is going to be cheaper than a cordless because you don't have to buy the batteries. If you're a DIYer, you have to choose if you want to get the corded or the cordless, because the cordless, the new lithium batteries are really good, and you can leave them for like 6 months, a year, and come back and they'll still be fully charged. But obviously that only applies to the more expensive ones. The really cheap discount drills still have the nickel hydrate metal or nickel cadmium batteries. When it comes to professional usage, which is pretty much what I do with the drills, I don't really use the corded drills anymore, but that's just because of the fact that these are 110 volt drills and you have to use the transformer to run these in this country because we get 230 volt out of the plug. So if these were 230 volt, I would probably use them a lot more. And I may very well get a corded drill that runs here. I do most of my drilling with the cordless drill, and I have quite a few cordless drills. But anyway, when it comes to what I do with the corded drills, when I'm wire brushing, like with a wire brush, or even using the sanding drum, I much prefer to use a corded than a cordless, just because the chucks on the corded seem to have a bit more tolerance in them than the cordless. So I use a corded for wire brushing, sanding, that kind of stuff. Also for masonry, I much prefer using the corded hammer drill, either this one or the Black & Decker, rather than the cordless, because the corded goes faster and also the chuck has more tolerance in it. Also with the corded, because of the way you hold them, it's easy to put a lot of force behind them without bending the chuck down. Like these, the way these guys are set up, if you're pushing really hard like this, you could very well be sort of pushing down like this, so your chuck is being forced down. Or, well, if you're pushing a lot on these cordless drills, you should put your hand at the back here. And actually, when I use these cordless drills, I normally hold them like this or this. Although holding them like this is not good because then you're covering up the air vents. When it comes to wood drilling, I almost always use the corded. Occasionally I might cordless. Occasionally I may get out the corded drill. Really, there's no reason not to use the cordless drills for wood. Like these drills now, like you can put this battery on and drill like 500 small holes. Also, it's kind of nice just to be able to walk around with your drill. Obviously, if I have a lot of holes, I may very well get out the corded, although I still use the cordless just because how long the battery lasts. If you're drilling metal, which I do occasionally do that, from my experience, metal requires slow speed for a long amount of time. So you could definitely use a cordless drill just on first speed, but I would almost say if you're drilling metal all the time and you work in a workshop, get the VSR drill with the 2-speed reduction so it goes 600 RPMs rather than getting a cordless drill. I think DeWalt makes a really nice VSR drill with the 2-speed reduction, so it only goes about 600 RPMs. And also the fine drills look really good for metal drilling. And with these VSR drills, you can just hold them like that. It's not that comfortable. I prefer to hold them like this, but you can hold them like that if you wanted. So if you're drilling a lot of metal, I definitely recommend getting the corded drill, just because then you don't have to worry about batteries. You just plug it in and it will go all day. And that applies to all cordless and corded tools. No matter what it is, corded, you plug in and it will go all day. Cordless, you may have to stop and change batteries, but there is more to it than just changing batteries. Cordless, once the battery gets below, well, 100%, but particularly once it gets past 75%, 50%, the power and speed starts to dip. Whereas with the corded, no matter what tool it is, the corded, you always get full power. So if, like lights, I like the cordless lights, they're convenient, but if I was using them all day, every day, I would definitely have a corded light, just because then you plug it in and you get full brightness all day. Same applies to the drills. If you're going to be using it all day and you aren't going to be walking around with it much, like if you are working at a workbench, managing cords is not rocket science. What else? Plastic drilling, I've never drilled that, well, I may have drilled that stuff, but it doesn't matter what drill you get for plastic. And corded drills, all good corded drills anyway, you can still vary the speed with the trigger, although I prefer to just pull the trigger the entire way. For mixing paint, again, I will use the corded Black & Decker drill I have. I will not put a paint mixer in my cordless drills. And also, like I said, I will not put a wire brush, a sanding disc, or even really a masonry bit in the cordless drills. If you can get a corded drill with chuck key chuck, again, chuck key chucks are not that bad. I actually kind of like these chuck key chucks because you can put the chuck key in there and you can really tighten these chucks. Whereas sometimes this drill, or even this drill, but particularly this drill, if you're using it on hammer drill, it can loosen if you didn't give it that extra turn. So that's pretty much all I have to say on the cordless and corded. I like cordless, but I also like corded. I like them both equally, and I'll probably continue to always use cordless, but I will definitely keep corded drills in the shop. I may very well get some of those fine drills, the orange German company that's spelled F-E-I-N. They look like really nice drills, and if you're looking for like a good carpentry or even metalworking drill, I would definitely say check out the fine drills, because they have cordless drills too, and the fine cordless drills have 4 speeds on them rather than 2 speeds. There's nothing wrong with the 2-speed drill, but I just kind of wouldn't mind having 4 speeds. Obviously, I've never used a drill that's had more than 3 speeds, but I'm definitely going to be getting one that has 4 speeds at some point. The other thing about corded and cordless, I'm not so sure if like the actual cordless brushless drill is going to last as long as these drills. Like, I'm not sure about that, because I haven't had brushless cordless drills for that long. Like, I got this 3.5 years ago. It's still running strong, but it's only been 3.5 years. Whereas I believe my dad has had this one for 25 years, and it's still going strong. And it has mixed who knows how many tons of plaster, drilled who knows how many thousands of holes, and pumped probably quite a bit of tar. Because this drill, before we moved here, which was about 10 years ago, this drill was the drill that my dad used a lot. My dad had this drill, and he had a Black & Decker. I don't think he used that a lot. But if his 3-speed 14.4 volt DeWalt drill couldn't do it, he'd use this drill. I remember him using this drill a lot for like pumping tar and stuff, and then for the last 5 years this drill has mixed a lot of plaster, like a lot being probably over a ton. It has gotten really warm, but it still works fine. I took it apart and re-greased it and cleaned it out a little bit, and it works better now. But yeah, if you're a homeowner and you're only going to use it a little bit, corded is definitely the way to go, rather than cordless. Because cordless, they kind of need to be used on a regular basis. Also, it just keeps the battery full. Because there's nothing more annoying than going to work on a project and there being no juice in your battery. Of course I don't have that problem because I have a lot of batteries, but back when I only had 2 batteries, it sometimes would happen. So now I'll just do a little demonstration, and actually I did what you're going to see at the end of the video a few days ago, and I was not expecting the Makita drill to plow through that wood as fast as it did. And that's why, because drilling through that wood that you'll see me drilling through, right 10 centimeters deep, I do that a lot because when I'm building chicken coops, I peg the frames together with the 9mm bit, and I will go about 10 centimeters into the wood. And these drills have absolutely no problem doing it, especially paired with a sharp bit, but it's just they apparently aren't as fast as the corded, so you may very well see me getting a corded drill in the near future, just because I don't really like, it's not too convenient using the transformer. There's nothing wrong with using the transformer, it's just not too convenient. Plus also these are my dad's drills. So yeah, we'll get to testing now. That's my opinion on corded. The corded drills are definitely still a very good tool. Even today, the ones they make today seem to be really good. I know a lot of people don't like corded anymore, although I personally think there's nothing wrong with corded, and if runtime's important, cordless are never going to be corded at runtime, because these batteries, like, they'll last a long time, but they are not going to last as long as a cord, since a cord, as soon as you plug it in, you have power. That's why I kind of like the multi-volt that Hikoki does, because you can put the cord adapter on the cordless tools. The only slight thing is that the adapter is really big. But yes, now we are going to get to showing you these guys in action, and these guys. DeWalt DCD 777, 5 amp hour battery that's almost empty. 1750 RPMs, 10mm bit, 28x60 pressure treated wood. DeWalt DCD 796. Same bit, same wood. 2000 RPMs, full 5 amp hour battery. Now the fun time begins. The first, turn on the transmogrifier. Tighten the camera back down onto the stand. Now, because these are Canadian, you have to get the polarities correct, not like the French ones that you can just plug in any old way you want. Have to open up the 10mm Jacobs chuck. This is 2500 RPMs, a D10604. I'll just show you. It focused. Good. Yeah, 4-amp motor, type 2 apparently. Now, being a 10mm chuck, this is the biggest bit it'll take with a standard shaft. And that's to keep you from putting great big auger bits in this drill. Tighten that chuck down a little more. Now it's time to do the Makita. And this is a drilling test, not a how fast it is to set up test. Although once I set the corded drill up, I can go all day, whereas the cordless I may have to change batteries, but still. Okay, this Makita goes 2800 RPMs. It's a 8450 5.1 amp motor. It's got a 13mm focused Jacobs UK chuck, so I assume it's made in the UK. Here's the plate, and as we can see down at the bottom, it says Makita Manufacturing Europe, England, so this could very well have been a made in England tool. First we need to take the chuck key, put the 10mm drill bit in, the thing about these old chuck key chucks is that you can really wrench this chuck key and get them tight. You have to be careful though, or if you use it for a long time, the chuck will get so tight you won't be able to undo it. Look at how fast that is. Just have to show you the 796 again. Not that there's anything wrong with the 796, but just show you how fast it goes.